I'm Sean.
I'm Adam.
And this is SasqWatch. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about the 2019 animated film Abominable. It's been months since we did one of these episodes.
Yeah.
After the wake of destruction left by the films of BC 14. There's a small chance that I misremembered what movie we were supposed to watch for this. I couldn't remember if it was this or Missing Link. So we went with this one. So I hope I'm not wrong. Join us next time when we talk about the film Missing Link. So I hope it was Abominable. I know we wanted to watch something a little bit happier and a little bit more cheerful after the last episode. And I think we largely were successful with that.
Locked on target.
What did you know about this movie going into it?
I knew there was an animated Bigfoot movie, Yeti movie. I knew that it starred Chloe Bennett. That's all I knew.
I brought cake for this episode, and I forgot to use it earlier.
Oh.
So yeah, we got some cake. Yeah.
Just for season 3?
Well, Patrick, our editor, said he got some new microphones, and I thought it'd be a fun way to test those out with some cake.
Oh.
You know, give him some editing tools to work with, maybe some problems. Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, so we got some cake here. So I didn't know that this was a DreamWorks movie.
I didn't either. I actually thought that this was like a third party. I don't know what to say, but no, I knew it wasn't a Disney movie. I didn't think it was like DreamWorks or Leica or I didn't think it was any specific company. I thought it was just kind of one of those movies you see that goes straight to streaming. I thought this was one of those, but no, it was, like you said, a DreamWorks production. What are you, a DreamWorks person? Do you have a preference on them? I mean, a DreamWorks. You mean like DreamWorks versus Disney?
DreamWorks in general. I'm not a DreamWorks guy. I like B-movie. I'm one of those people. I like Ants.
You like the
way
B-movie?
Back in the day, I do like the B-movie.
Oh, that's surprising.
But in general, I think if you take Shrek away, that house of cards comes tumbling down. I'm not a big DreamWorks guy.
I like DreamWorks. I like The Rise of the Guardians.
All right.
I like that movie.
We're good on that. So it was a co-production, though. It was DreamWorks made it with a Chinese animated company called Pearl, which I didn't know. I had no idea. So I hit play on this movie, and I was like, we're in China. This is crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know we'd be in China. Although with it being a Yeti movie, I wasn't surprised, and I knew that the characters were of Asian descent. I just didn't know we were in China.
I thought that was probably the most interesting thing about it, was that we were in China for the whole time, following Chinese characters. I did regret, if I had known, I would have found a version of it that was in Chinese with subtitles, because I do think that there were some things that were it was just strange to hear them speak English the whole time.
Yeah.
And I especially hated the voice of the little boy character.
Peng.
Peng, yeah. I didn't like him.
I love this stuff.
What's the general plot of Abominable? We can't both eat cake at the same time. We're going to have to figure this out.
Yeah, so Yeti, this is a switch off point. You were talking for a minute. I got to bite in. You can... yeah, my turn. So the Yeti was captured by some sort of agency, business, science, government people. And he escaped at the beginning of the movie. He escapes their lab. That's the first thing you see. And then we check in with our main character, Yi, who is, her dad died, disappeared, died.
Who cares?
Dad's gone. She's sad about it. So she likes to go up on the roof and brood, as, TV show and film characters are wont to do when they feel such a thing. So while she's up brooding on the rooftop, she comes across Yeti. Does Yeti ever get a name?
Everest.
Everest, right. Yeah, that's of course. I have that written down. I just haven't looked down at it yet. But yeah, so she meets Yeti, who will come to be named Everest. And yeah, she helps Yeti escape being discovered by science, government, business people.
I got a lot of cake on the floor. I did. I'm going to need a broom before we're done today. But yeah, I'll tag in.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, that's the basic premise. And then she decides she's going to get him home. He communicates to her.
Yeah, so some kids go on an adventure to take this Yeti back to the mountain. That's really the long and short of it. They're being pursued by government-ish. Yeah, it is a very company government mush of people that want the Yeti for businessy reasons, but mostly because this little old man with a cane is like, that's my Yeti. And he's got this, like, ginger doctor woman, Dr. Zara, is this, like, field agent person. So they're pursuing the children. The first, like, half hour, there's some very boilerplate family drama. Her dad is dead. Yeah. That's, I don't like that at all. I don't like animated films that are like, we'll just, open this can of trauma of like, yeah, the dead parents. There you go. And it's like, well, sure, I've seen that 100 times. I'm sure whoever wrote it was like, I know this one. We'll make her dad be dead, and that'll be the source of...
Yeah, not to discourage anyone who has had, dead parents, but, like, these movies would have you...
Not to discourage you orphans out there, but you're pretty boring.
No, not boring. I'm just saying, like, how common really is that? Because these movies would have you have,
Yeah, that's...
People have beaten that to death in other... analyses of movies, but in general, that's still a thing to.
Yeah, I made fun of it in Legend of SasqWatch too, where I don't care about your automatic, dead parents. Like that doesn't make me care about you in a movie. Like if a real orphan came up to me and said like, yeah, my dad's dead, I'd be like, well,
here's a couple bucks.
Well, it depends where I'm at. If I'm in a building, I'm like, how'd you get in here?
You got a lot of bags in your hand. Go. What do you do?
Got a lot of bags. Gosh dang it. So maybe orphans are a little funny, but the most interesting thing about it is the location. But if you strip that away, it's not a very complex movie. It's the kids are taking the Yeti to the place, and along the way, we're going to stop for like a couple, random silly things, which those were the best parts of the movie, was when it stopped to get a little bit weird. At one point, they're running in terror from a bunch of giant blueberries.
Yeah, that part was funny.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I haven't seen that before.
So all of his powers relate to using nature, but it does seem like he can do just about anything with nature. Earth, water, wind.
What about the beginning of the movie when the Yeti uses EMP powers to escape from the facility?
You mean lightning strike?
Is that what I mean? Is that what happened?
I think so.
Then to the Yangtze River, and that river will take you most of the way to the Himalayas, and finally to Mount Everest.
I don't know that there's much to say about the plot along the way. The character, most of the drama stems from she's got this violin that her dad, who's dead, gave to her, and so she won't play it in front of her family, but she'll play it in secret on the roof,
right? Which
probably pisses off.
Well,
the
and
neighbors.
also she spends all of her time away from home, like trying to do other stuff. Apparently, she's doing things to help her community, but like
she's saving up money to go on her trip across China.
Okay, which she wanted to go on a trip across China with her dad. They always talked about doing that, and so
she's got like 14 jobs to go across China, and wouldn't she know that on their way to get Everest home, that they end up going on that exact journey.
They go to every place that she had on her little cork board.
This is a good point. Did you know that place they go to towards the end of the journey is a real place, that giant Buddha statue?
Yes, I looked it up.
Yeah, so did I. The Lechin Buddha?
Yeah, Lechin Buddha.
That place was cool to learn about. At one point, the government gets Jin. He gets separated from the group when they all start flying on a giant dandelion through the air.
Yes, yeah, so he's afraid to jump on the dandelion. I guess he doesn't trust the Yeti, who to this point has already saved them. Well, his power, so the Yeti's young, I guess.
Yeah,
They
he is
decide
young.
Well, yeah, he is. At some point they decide that. And we start to see some of that. Like, it does feel like if this creature exists, that this is what a young one would feel like, I guess. Like, it doesn't really know how to use its powers. It tries to use them to help, like with the blueberries. Basically, I guess we should talk about some of the Yeti's powers really quick.
Okay, so the Yeti can do whatever the script needs it to do.
Yeah, it can
So if
grow plants to giant size, like the dandelion or the blueberries.
If they're in trouble, then he'll fix it. At one point,
Yeah.
he makes a giant wave through the earth
Out of a
and they're
mountain. Yeah, they surf on a boat
through a field
through a
of yellow
field of flowers and then down a mountain that they're having fun, and the kid's like, do more, and then they just keeps making the mountain more and more steep until
It did
they
look
just
cool.
start playing. It looked really cool.
looked
Once
really
again, this
cool.
movie generally
Didn't make
looks
any
really
sense,
cool.
though.
No, it didn't. But after that, I was like, wow. I was like, this guy is ridiculously powerful.
Yeah, it seems like it works through some kind of harmonics. Like he'll kind of hum and start to glow blue, and then that's when whenever you need a tornado, he'll make a tornado. You need to fly, he will make the clouds fly. Which was that I was like, why didn't you just fly all the way there?
Yeah, why did
wait
you
until
use
the end
the
of the
dandelion?
movie to fly? But yeah, you can fly if you need to fly, and he can even fix.
To be fair, they did say that he was more powerful the closer he got to Mount Everest.
Okay. I want to know how he fixed the violin. That's the part.
I was confused about that too. I was like, I guess it's made of wood. Because the strings was the part that I was unsure of him being able to fix. But then they were like, it's his hair. And which I guess Yeti hair could be used as a violin string. And it transfers their magical powers to the violin, which was pretty cool.
Set his powers aside. I didn't like the part where he fixed the violin. Because here's my big problem with this movie is that there's really no stakes of any kind. At no point are you worried that the kids aren't going to get him to the mountain, that the bad guys are going to get the Yeti, that Yi is not going to repair the damage done to her family. The family's not even worried that she disappears for several days. She comes back home at the end and they're like,
That was really weird.
How was your trip? And it's like, there was no trip. This was not an organized event. She disappeared in the night in Shanghai.
Did I miss
Disappeared.
that, I thought maybe you would help me with that. Maybe we missed a spot where they explain, they give some fake story to their parents or something.
Nope.
Yeah, they just get home and they're like, oh, I'm so glad you're home. How was your trip? And it's just like, what?
I missed you both so much.
It's good to have you back, granddaughter.
The thing was supposed to be that she is sad that her dad is dead. And at one point she's like, I haven't even cried yet. Which I'm like, yeah, I doubt that. You've probably cried. But even if she hadn't, I'm like, I don't care if you've cried or not, because your dad's not a real character. I have no idea what kind of a dad he was. I have no idea.
He was already dead when it started.
Yeah, I don't feel the absence of his presence. But the only thing the movie had was that her little violin, that she was like, this is my attachment to my dad. And at one point, after the tidal wave of flowers ends, Everest accidentally breaks the violin. And for just a second, I was like, oh, maybe this movie's actually going to have something real happen. And she goes into the woods and is sad for 4 minutes and then comes back out and Everest has fixed the violin. And I was like, gosh dang, wouldn't it be too bad if this movie had some real emotional stakes for these characters? Then they get to the mountain at the end and then there's a big confrontation on a bridge.
Yes. So I want to talk about the villains.
The villains?
Movie, because that's my biggest hang up with the movie is with the villains. There's Dr. Zara and Mr. Burnish. Yeah. Played by Eddie Izzard. and Dr. Zara, played by
Sarah Paulson.
Sarah Paulson, yeah.
I think we're probably feel the same about this.
Yeah, so we are introduced to Dr. Zara initially, and it seems like she's kind of the scientist working under the corporation. She's like a zoologist and like wants to study the Yeti. So we've seen this character a bunch of times in all these movies. The person who wants to study the Yeti. They're basically in every single movie, unless there's just only people who want to kill the Yeti. But with the Yeti specifically, I feel like we usually get the scientists.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. I guess because it's easier to explain why those people would be where the Yeti is. Whereas with Bigfoot, you can kind of put him anywhere where there's woods. But,
sure.
I mean...
You want a Bigfoot in the desert? We'll find that movie.
Anywhere where there's woods. There's no woods in the desert.
Not yet. We'll find that movie.
I mean, yeah.
Also, technically, Mount Everest is a desert. Desert doesn't mean sand. It doesn't mean hot. Desert means...
I mean, sure.
It is my mission in life to make sure that all animals are protected, especially the rare and exotic ones. That is the only reason I agreed to find your Yeti.
And you did. For a few short days, we had one.
And then we get Mr. Burnish, who seems like, you mentioned him earlier, he seems like he wants to own the Yeti. Like, he wants to just own nature is kind of his thing. Like, he seems like he appreciates it, but wants to control it, I guess.
Wants to own it.
Yeah. And so that's his thing. And then by the time we get to this conflict in the bridge, not even, about halfway through the movie, for no real reason...
They flip.
They flip places. Yeah, like Dr. Zara reveals that she's actually like
evil,
super evil, and she hates animals, and the little thing she keeps with her is just to trick the old Mr. Burnish. But like, I didn't think Mr. Burnish cared about that. So like, why is she trying to trick him?
What purpose does it serve to switch the bad guys in the third act? Because it's like...
Right, and I wrote at some point, like, when that happened, I was like, whoa, this one's got a secret human bad guy, and I was like, that's weird, because we already had a bad guy, and our secret human bad guy is already working for the bad guys.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, because it's like, at one point, she's like, I'll only do this if you promise that we'll take him alive. And he's like, I guess. And then later on, she's like, well, I don't care if we get him alive or not. And I was like, well, then what?
Well, no. She's like, we need him alive, but go ahead and shoot him. Like, and I'm just like, well, what? But, yeah, and then Burnish all of a sudden is just like, we can't kill the Yeti. And that switch just didn't play well.
Yeah, they didn't earn it, and it just doesn't make... It's just unnecessary.
Yeah, I will say, I guess the Dr. Zara twist, like, surprised me, but it didn't do anything for the story.
If you're worried about it, don't be, because she gets dealt with very quickly, very easily, and basically falls to her death.
Yeah.
During an avalanche.
Yeah, I was surprised that we did actually, I think, have 2 deaths in this movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, she did try to murder a child, like, minutes before that, so that's kind of her fault, I guess. This movie did that. It was somewhat real.
Sure.
I appreciated that a little bit, because I feel like a lot of these movies, I even was waiting through the credits to see if it was going to be like, actually they survived and they're in jail now or something. But no, you just don't see or hear from them again, so I assume they died because they plummeted off a cliff.
You are by far the most extraordinary creature I've ever seen. That is exactly why the world must never know you exist.
Yeah, he's like, the world must never know you exist. They will never understand. Once again, we get this language where I'm just like, no, if you're worried about the Yeti being, like, ruined, then why are we not telling people, you know?
Well, in this case in particular, I was like, at the end of the film, I was convinced that the Yetis were benevolent gods that lived on their mountain and controlled any and all aspects around them. The end of the movie, they get on giant clouds shaped like dolphins and like
ride the
dolphin clouds into the sky. So yeah, at that point, I was like, these creatures don't need to worry about humans. So whatever Mr. Burnish is saying, I was like, they don't care. You're an ant to them. You're nothing. So, well, what you want is irrelevant. As far as like, should we tell people? Of course, we should tell people about the gods on the mountain so that we can live in fear properly. So that's how I felt about it.
Yeah, and did you see the size of those adult ones in this movie?
Huge.
They were like 20 plus feet tall. Like they were like, other than the kaiju yeti from the Italian movie we watched, I think they're probably the biggest that we've seen.
Everest. Jin said Yi was like his little sister when they were kids. She was always doing something crazy that would get her into trouble.
If we haven't talked about Ping, I guess he's the little boy is he her brother or Jing's brother?
I think he's Jing's cousin, and then they're like her neighbors or something. Yeah,
well,
they like live in the same building or something.
His one solitary character trait is that he loves basketball. So every single scene with him, he's playing basketball, talking about basketball, or he's just being a little sugary child. And, for me and my tastes, I was like, let's get him out of here.
Yeah, he definitely feels like he's there for, like, the kids.
Bank shot!
All the characters were pretty one note. It's like, Yi-Yi's sad, Ping is just basketball, Jen loves his cell phone, the mom is not a character, the grandma likes to cook and is short.
Yeah.
Mr. Burnish is short and bad,
but also not.
I think he is. I never felt
know.
like he undid the damage that he'd done to
nature. The population of the whooping snake.
Yeah, and Dr. Zara is evil.
She tried to murder a child.
Our purpose here is to talk about these films within the Bigfoot genre. And when I look at this housed next to something like The Legend of SasqWatch, I feel like it's pretty awesome animation.
Well, if we compare it to all the other stuff that we've watched so far, just in terms of like the visual quality, this is like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it really does.
We have to keep going. Come on, you guys, let's go.
So I guess let's get to social value.
Are we doing anything? Yeah, I mean, we're definitely doing some different stuff with Bigfoot here.
I think
we see some familiar stuff too. I thought it was interesting that Bigfoot liked soda in this movie again.
That's not the first time we've seen Bigfoot like soda.
That's why I noted that, because Bigfoot loved Coca-Cola in the
Cry Wilderness. Yeah. I think the most interesting thing about it is the setting. I think it's cool that DreamWorks did this, because I like when animated movies for kids expose them to like other places and other times and other cultures, and they're like, what is this city? What's this light show? Like, where am I? And you have to be like, well, I think it's Shanghai or Hong Kong, but you have to be like, yeah, this is the other side of the world.
Right.
There's stuff that's similar. There's stuff that's way different. Their food is different. So I think that element is cool for kids.
That is, especially for kids, because like, to them, a place like that might as well be a whole different, might as well be a fantasy world, and then to find out that that's real, that's really cool. I don't know. That's an experience you can only have like once. And so it's kind of cool to have that in movies and stuff, when have a kid watch a movie, and kids love to latch on to movies and shows, and to potentially have them latch on and be like, oh, I'm really interested in China as its history and culture and food, and and
or
all
even
that
just
stuff.
if they're like, I want to try that food that they made in the movie because that looks cool, or so that is really genuinely cool about this movie. I think if you strip that away, though, it's a lot of used familiar parts for anyone who's seen movies before. Especially if you're like a Disney person and you're trying to show your kids stuff, they're gonna be like, more dead parents. Hey, there's that old familiar pair of shoes. Yeah,
as far as an animated movie or a movie for children goes, it's really not doing anything new except for what we talked about with, and it's not even new to highlight other cultures, but it's becoming more prevalent, but it's still if you're talking about the grand scheme of things, not very common. So that's a positive for it. But yeah, other than that, there's nothing new here. It's all, like you said, cobbled together from other stuff. It's not adding much to the conversation. From a Bigfoot standpoint, it's adding in all this nature magic stuff, which is not totally out of what we've seen before. We've seen Bigfoot with magical nature powers before, and in an animated movie. Because the Legend of SasqWatch, those big feet had like magical crystals and powers and stuff, and we had the kids' movies love to give Bigfoot magical powers.
They do. They like a flying Bigfoot. If you're a kid who's exposed to this stuff,
yeah, he flew.
You're gonna be like, well, Bigfoot flies. Like I've always seen Bigfoot fly.
Yeah, you're like Bigfoot flies. He can cast spells. He can enter my dreams.
He has an ability. He understands harmonics.
Yeah, he's a very good singer. These are things that kids just think about Bigfoot.
Yeah, I guess if you look at how we've encountered Bigfoot across these movies, this would fit into this like chaotic good category, where Bigfoot is an element of nature that is employed by nature to do things. I think this is a weird thing where if we were talking about movies in general, I didn't care for this one very much. But within our purposes, I do think that it would be silly of me to not give this 3 big feet because of the quality of animation and just that this movie got lucky. And the last episode, we had to watch the films of BC-14.
Yeah.
And it's become more important to me to put some space in between. That is the bottom. That is a 0.
Right.
And this has got to be at least like... Yeah, I'm going to give it 3. I'm a generous 3, but I'm going to give it 3 big feet.
I'm going to give it... I know that I've handed out some 4s in the past, but I think I'm going to give this 3.5.
3.5?
Yeah.
I understand why you would do that. I think that's too high, and I think that sets like people are going to be like, well, that one must be really good. It's not. It's just
Once
so much
again,
better.
are you... You gotta remember that a Bigfoot isn't worth as much as a star.
I know that you don't...
3.5 is not a 7 out of 10 movie. 3.5 is a, like...
Watchable.
It's like a 5.
I don't get angry texts when you're done watching it.
You don't have to worry.
Welcome to the Bigfoot Breakdown.
So we're going to talk about Abominable from 2019. So the Bigfoot, or the Yeti in this movie was definitely unique among the ones we've met before.
I'd say incredibly powerful. Even though the main Yeti we spend time with is a youth.
Yeah, he still has incredible control over the forces of nature. He can make lightning and thunder and tornadoes and move mountains and...
Yeah, move the tectonic plates of the earth at will. He seems to induce these powers via a harmonic... Humming.
Yeah, I don't know if he's like...
Glows blue when this happens.
Tuning with the ley lines of the earth or something. I don't know. He's more powerful when he's close to... Mount Everest, which is something. He's got a very loud roar. He moves on all 4s, which is different than most of the big feet and Yetis we've seen. Pretty much all of them. I don't think we've ever seen another one like this one that moves mostly on all 4s.
He also had 4 fingers. I noticed that.
Oh. It's kind of just a cartoon thing.
Well, you know.
But it could be because he's the Yeti. I didn't actually pay attention to the other characters to see if they also had 4 fingers, but...
When we do see the adult Yeti, they are massive. They're like tall building sized. So they grow up to be pretty huge. They all reside on Mount Everest. Our main character Yeti is Yi says that he's a boy based on his smell. So I guess I guess
we can assume maybe, though he stinks, which we've seen with other big feet in the past. He can communicate with like simple sign language. They have that little home symbol that they make to each other.
That's true. No spoken dialogue. The Yeti can't talk, per se.
He's got big feet. There was that scene where she, like, when he's sleeping, where she, like, put her hand up or whatever, and it's just like, I just laughed because it's always funny when they have like a look how big this foot is moment.
Let's see. Understands. We said harmonics and seems to enjoy the playing of music.
Yeah.
So music connoisseur.
Yeah, he likes music. He likes soda. He likes
Loves
sugary
soda.
drinks.
Loves soda.
He can, in addition to his controlling the weather and such in Earth, he can control plants, make them huge, like beyond normal size, much beyond.
I don't know if he can fly on his own, but he can create a mechanism to fly. Yeah. So if he needs to get across, the sky, he'll make a cloud of dolphins.
He can, I assume he eats fruit and stuff since he can make it grow big like he can.
Well, he definitely eats pork buns.
He likes pork. So, and he tries to eat a fish at one point. I think he's trying to eat those koi fish, and they keep trying to get him not to. He looks like he wants to eat them. He can make a tornado.
Kind of a benevolent beast. Not an angry Yeti, but just a happy, playful kind of a Yeti. Mm-hmm. Peaceful. We want them to stay peaceful because, I
think they're incredibly powerful. They can turn invisible too.
I think of these creatures as benevolent gods, high above.
Yeah, their hair is apparently magical. Maybe other parts of their body too. I have no clue. So they must have some sort of inherent magical energy or some sort, or the ability to tap into it.
Kind of a flat face. Did you notice that? Very flat face.
Yeah.
Not much of a nose.
Yeah, definitely like a different structure to the thing in general. And they are massive. The young one is pretty large, about the height, I guess, of an adult person, or close to, if it was standing all the way up, but way heavier, way bigger. And then the adult ones are massive. Yeah. They're like 20, 25 feet tall. They're huge, which you see at the end of the movie. And there's quite a few of them. There's a lot of them in this movie. Overall, more unique than most, I would say.
All right.
Let's crunch the numbers over at SasqWatch. Welcome to SasqWatch, where we crunch the numbers. Today we're talking about 2019's Abominable. In this film, we move across part of China, moving initially from the area around Shanghai all the way to Mount Everest, and then back. There are 6 Yeti in this movie at least. That's how many we counted, but there very well are, likely are more. This has done a similar thing to some other movies we've seen, where at the end of the film we see a bunch of Bigfoot or Yetis or whatever else all together. There are 2 deaths in this film, and both of them are human-on-human violence. Our main character, Yi, you call it save... Yeah, she's trying to save the Yeti, so she uses the magical violin to start an avalanche, which ends up knocking the bad guys off the ledge and presumably killing them. The Yeti in this movie is on screen for an impressive 13 minutes and 30 seconds. And that's it for SasqWatch today.
SasqWatch! It's been a while since we got to do one of these. So I don't know what it's like in your timeline, but for us, this has been hey, we're back.
Yeah.
I put on my B shirt for this.
We got a cake.
We got cake.
It's season 3.
Yeah, I got cake on the floor though, so I do need to take care of that before you get ants in here. But real quick, I wanted to let you guys know that on the next episode of SasqWatch, we are going back to the bread and butter horror movie content that we like to cover so much. We got a break because of the premiere, but we are going to be covering a movie that I have been threatening Adam with for years. And I think it's finally time for us to visit the state of Florida and check out 2017's Swamp Ape.
A group of college students took a little field trip.
I hope you don't plan on camping around here this weekend.
Yes, we're here for the pollution study. Oh, hell yeah, I'm jumping in.
SasqWatch. Bye, everyone. Remember to like and subscribe to the show. There's a button that is probably down there that is very easy to click on. It's red, if I believe it might be red. Yeah, that's the show.